Yes, welcome to Pen Talk. Thought I would start out with writing with pens because these are unbelievable. I saw a Facebook listing where somebody was buying these disposable pens on Amazon for a very low price. They come in many different numbers. These are just 3 of the 12 colors I got. All the colors are great, nice and saturated, look well on paper. Extra fine nibs write extremely well, as you heard. Very little feedback. You know, how can you beat it? It's less than 60 cents each. Yes, they're inexpensive pens. Yes, they're disposable pens, but they're unbelievable. Here's the listing on Amazon. I'll give you a link to the listing in my description. Here's some other variations of this pen. There seems to be a ton of them available on Amazon. I haven't even checked AliExpress or Temu or any of the other Chinese sites because they do come from China. Here's the package they came in. But since most of my viewers live in the United States and most of you do have access to Amazon, check them out. These are great pens to give away to people, to get them involved in fountain pens. Let them choose the color that they want. And there are a lot of colors. So these are the 3 of the 12 that I used for this writing sample. A blue, a dark green, and a red. And they have a nice finial on top of the cap that gives you an indication of the color. And of course you can see the ink in the pen, which is another indication of the color. Here's the other 8. All different colors it appears, varying in different grades, dark and light. And the light colors are okay, but I'm not a fan of light ink. Some people do like it, but I don't. So let's just look at this one to show some of the details of the pen. It shares a lot in common with some other inexpensive disposable pens, which we'll look at a few of them a little bit later. But the clip is molded in place. It's almost functional. I think it's nice with that finial at the top, which indicates the color of the ink. I'd say there's at least 2.5 milliliters of ink in there, so it's going to last for a while. Just a plug in the end. Pull off cap. Good sound snap. Considering I don't know how long they've sat, every one of these that I've uncapped wrote right away first time. You can see a clear feed, which shows the color of the ink. Nice green color. And there's your typical feed that most of these pens have. And just a straight barrel. You know, it's not a bad feel. It feels good. That section is okay. I always like a little bit bigger. And yes, you can post a cap. It posts securely. It weighs almost nothing. We'll give you the weights of the pen. So I think we just need to look at this one because we haven't seen this one write, and I haven't written with it yet. So let's see what it writes like. I mean, that's a nice green color, consistent line, and it's not wet, which is what you would expect. These pens would work great on any type of paper, and that's the other nice thing about these extra fine nibs in this ink. It works well. We're also going to test water resistance a little bit later on. So you may ask, but other pens are similar. Well, obviously the classic is the Pilot Varsity, and I think you can tell from the looks of this pen is decades old. Always writes first time every time. I have a few of these, and they're all incredibly dependable writers. One of my first ever pen reviews was of this pen, the Pilot Petite 1. This is eyedropper. This has been setting for a while. It's not as reliable as the Varsity, but with a little bit of coaxing, it started writing well. And we can't leave out the Platinum Preppy. And since this one has no ink, you can see that feed, how it's that circular comb feed. Here they colored the nib to match whatever ink you want to put in it. These came with cartridges, but you can also eyedrop them. I just didn't find these to be as good a writer. It does have a seal mechanism here, which is impressive for a couple dollar pen. But at the end of the day, for 60 cents, you can't beat this. And this is another color, orange. Let's see how this writes. So this pen I've never written with. I just uncapped it. Let's give it a try. So it's a light colored ink, not necessarily a favorite of mine, but sometimes you might just want to have a light colored ink. So just to show you comparison, here's your Pilot Varsity. Kind of a medium nib. It's broader than the other ones, and it has an M on it for medium. Very dense line. A dark blue. It's a pleasant writer. Smoother than the other ones because it's a slightly bigger nib. And we shouldn't leave out the petite one. This has been setting for I don't even know how long. This also came with a number of different colors. You know, it has that clip integrated into the molding. They did 2 colors. A nice big ink supply there. And the standard style nib that all these pens seem to have. Quick drying ink. It was a little bit coaxing required to get it to write well, but you know, it's been sitting for a couple years. How many pens you know that you own that cost significantly more than this can't sit for more than a couple days without having some trouble writing? So you may ask, how do you store these 12 pens? Well, I like yogurt, and there's a yogurt that comes in these nice glass jars, which are perfect for pens. Nice rounded edge, and you can fit a lot of pens in there. They're easy to see the pens you have, and these are easy to see what color you have, and grabbing one you want to write with. So let's look at all 12 colors on 24-pound copy paper. 2 in the purple family, at least to my eyes. A red shading towards pink. A very nice green, kind of a brilliant green. An orange, which is on the light side, but then it's orange. A really nice blue, kind of like a sea blue. Basic black. Not sure what color that is. A pink one, which actually looks pretty good. A dark brown, a darker brown. All good colors. All write very, very well, and all write perfectly. Uncap them and they write. All of them. Flip it over, and you'll see no bleed through, no ghosting. It handles the 24-pound copy paper well. So I know a number of people like to get pens and nibs and inks that work well on not exactly fountain-friendly paper, but these do fine. Let's see how they do in water. A little drum roll, please. So now, we've been very impressed with these pens, the way they write, the colors. Let's see if they have any water resistance. So here's some water. Here's that test sheet on copy paper that I wrote. It's been a few hours, so it should have dried sufficiently. So let's dunk it in the water. My first response is, I'm impressed. The pink seems to be going away, but the rest of them, they're holding up well. So you could use these with a highlighter, would be my guess. We'll leave them set for another 5 or 10 minutes and we'll come back and visit them. They sat in water for about 10 minutes, and it looks like the orange, the green, one blue, and one of the pink. It looks like they spread pretty good, but let's pull it up and see what you can read. Yeah, you can see the ink slosh off. Well, that color here, good, not quite good, bad, 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 not bad. The black is really good. And so are the browns. Look like the dark colors held up very, very well. Some of the lighter ones spread a little bit, but I'm thoroughly impressed. For a cheap pen with this, it has ink in it that's fairly water resistant in most of the colors. Say no more. So here again is all 12. Yes, it's a lot of pens. Let's see if we can get them in frame. And they're all incredibly good writers, consistent, good quality ink. Have some labels you could peel off if you don't like them. And the price is phenomenal. You know, a little bit more than a cup of coffee. And you can buy a whole bunch of these for even less money. Let me know in the comments if you've gotten into these cheap, inexpensive disposable pens found on Amazon or other sites. Let me know where you bought them and how much you like them. So we've reached the conclusion of this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this video finds everyone safe, healthy, and happy, enjoying your pens. Hey, you don't need to spend a lot of money to find a pen that writes well. Just keep that in mind. So we've reached the end of this video, and we will say bye until the next one. Stay tuned.